G'day humans, Stead from Finder here, and today I'm reviewing the EcoFlow DELTA Max power station. Now it's hot as 1,000 suns out here, but I've taken time away from my busy schedule of fishing and drinking beer to let you know about this really quite cool battery pack. So let's dive in, take a closer look. Now this power station is an absolute beast. Now I've taken it away this weekend for camping. You can obviously go out bush with it, or you can go on a big RV trip, maybe do the lap, something like that. Like, it's definitely got a use case there, but it's also got a very valuable use case for those people who are living rural and might get cut off from power for weeks, if not longer at a time, due to fires or floods or that type of thing. So it's got the capacity to do that stuff. Okay, there's two models available in Australia. There's a 1600 watt model and a 2000 watt model. This is the 2000 watt model. And this has got the capability of running dryers and full fridges and all of these types of things at the same time. So it's got serious power coming through it. Now, they're not cheap. This one costs you about 3,600 bucks here in Australia if you look around. You will find some other models. I did see an 1800 watt model. It must be an older model of this, which is available for around the $1,800 mark. This new model, the DELTA Max, that's come out in 2021, goes for around 3,600 bucks. So you're looking at quite a bit of spend in here. However, this thing's an absolute animal, and I'm a big fan of it. So we'll talk first a little bit about the design. Now, it's about 21.6 kilos, I believe. So it's got a bit of weight in it, you know, but you got these handles on both sides and make it quite easy to pick up and move about without taking up too much space in your trailer. It's got this beautiful flat top, which doesn't seem like it's that important, but the number of times I've used this flat top just to hold things that I'm charging, but also, and you'll notice this if you go to the EcoFlow website and start having a looking through the specs for this product, it's very much an ecosystem driven product. It's a lot of stuff about, you know, daisy chaining multiple ones together. There's a smart generator option, there's a spare battery option, which you can connect through these ports, so you can daisy chain a lot of these things together and get a lot of extra power, and they push that a lot on the website. But I think for most people's use cases, including my own while I'm camping, you don't really need to think about that type of thing. You just want a single battery, but obviously the flat surface allows you to stack these. So that's another benefit of the flat surface. I mean, it's just a mean looking thing, right? Just a beautiful looking piece of kit. So you can't deny that there. Access to ports and everything is pretty easy. So on the front here, you got your 4 USB-A ports, you got 2 USB-Cs, there's a charge at 100 watts too, and everything's got its own individual power. So once you've got the actual device on, and you can see here I've got it, well, hopefully you can see there that I've got it at 77% at the moment because I've just been charging the fridge for most of today. You can power these on in individual sections. So that charges all your USBs. And while I'm here, I just want to note that one of the things that I don't quite like about this, I mean, for the most part, I really do love it, but there's no dust protection on these. And I could just imagine, you know, even out on a place like this, there's so much ash and stuff kicking around off the fire, and just, you know, the wind comes up, blows some sand in. So that's a bit weird because you've got rubber seals here, but you don't there. On the other side, you got 4 240 volt ports here, or chargers, Australian as well, which is important to note because you can get, you know, some good power stations from overseas, but you're going to need some sort of adapter. But these are actually Australian ports, which is fantastic. You can get the car charging port as well, so you got a couple of LED light power units here as well, and you got most of your charging that happens through here. So you can charge it by car charger or solar panel, and you can see I've got one of the EcoFlow solar panels here. So this is a 160 watt solar panel. I've actually got 2 of these, and they chain together really quite intelligently. Well, a bit confusing because it's positive and negative, but you can see that the actual ends are designed so you can't stuff it up, and the inverter and everything's in here, so there's no playing around with the solar panels. You just take this, plug it straight in, and the volts, it just comes straight in. So I had 2 of these together. I was getting 240 in, no worries at all. My fridge was pulling 80. I had a phone charging on it. We had the lights running off it, everything like that, and I was still pulling in more with 2 of these than I was actually drawing out of the thing. So we haven't had too much problems in terms of the power usage. Obviously, you can charge it with 240 volts straight into your wall socket as well when you're at home. It fast charges pretty quickly actually, and it holds its charge really well. So the first time I charged this up, up to 100%, and I just left it in the garage for a couple of weeks, or a couple of months, sorry, about 2-3 months. Came back still on 100% charge, which is good. And in terms of the actual durability and robustness of it, it's just so strongly built. Like, I wasn't too familiar with EcoFlow beforehand, but just having this in my hands and the solidity of it and the structure of it and the build quality of it, really happy with it. But as you can see also on the back here, no covers for any of these. There is a cover for this, sorry, I left it behind the tent, but there is a cover for the 12 volt port there. So possibly could have had a little bit of coverage over the ports. In terms of the sound it makes, look, you can hear it, but I wouldn't say it's anything annoying. There's no high-pitched whine or anything like that that's going to really annoy you. You can definitely hear it kick in on occasion, but like I said, when I had the fridge running off it and I had phones charging, I had a speaker charging, and I had the lights on, you could hear it, you know, but it definitely was very background, so nothing to be overly concerned with there at all. There is an app, you can see potentially the QR code on here. I didn't get the app to work, it just wouldn't find the device, so I haven't needed the app to do anything. It would be handy for remote analysis, especially with the solar panels on, because like yesterday I had the solar panels sitting on in the grass in full daylight, and I hit 100%, and I just sat there in the sun melting basically for heaps longer than I needed to, because it was waiting for me to come and check it, and I was too busy sitting on the chair drinking a beer to get up. So to be able to check to my phone would have been really handy, but you don't need it to get the device working, and I don't know why I couldn't get it to sync. Maybe it's something to do with my home Wi-Fi system, confusing it, conflicting it, I don't know. But that was something that I haven't been able to test out, unfortunately. But you know, all things considered, incredibly great device. You get heaps and heaps of hours of use out of it. When I was draining the fridge on it, it said I had 27 hours, or 29 hours, sorry, when I was at 100% to run my 75 litre companion fridge, which I've done another video review of if you want to check it out. And it was going to give me 29 hours on that. So, you know, that's a fair hog, and I reckon that would have dropped as well, because overnight it's not going to need as much to draw as much battery to keep the fridge running at the desired temperature. So I probably would have got 30 plus hours out of it. And like I said, you pair it with one of these and it's not a problem anyway. You could go bush for indefinitely basically with this puppy and this puppy and run anything you want. You don't have to worry about your toasters or your hair dryers or any of that kind of stuff blowing out the ampage. It's not going to happen with this particular device. The only thing it's not going to do is jumpstart your car. I think you need about 3,000 to do that, and I'm just speaking off the top of my head here, so maybe I've got that wrong, but it doesn't quite have the capacity to do that. But you can, like I said, daisy chain it, and then you do have the capacity to do that. So anyway, that's my thoughts on the EcoFlow Max Delta. Like I said, there's a 1600 watt version and a 2000 watt version. This is a 2000 watt version. You expect to pay about 3,500. For Joe Blow campers just going out on weekend jaunts and so forth, definitely it's an over investment. You don't need to go this hard. There's heaps of power stations you can get for a lot less. However, if you're doing the lap or anything significant, a couple of months like that, or if you're in a situation where you think you're going to be at home and you're going to have blackouts or shortages, or you want to have a secondary power option maybe in the garage or something like that, then this puppy's going to cover all bases, and it's easily portable and just keeps going and going and going. It's really, really handy. All right, so that's Chris Stead from Finder with my thoughts on the EcoFlow Delta Max power station. Definitely worth checking out, but it's a little bit pricey for most of us, I suspect. Otherwise, that's for me. I'm gonna get back to my chair, back to my beer, and back to my fishing.